When we normally think of harm, we look for physical evidence. We expect an act of force. We listen for noise. But high-level psychological manipulation operates in a different domain. It relies on absolute, deliberate silence. This method leaves no bruises and breaks no skin. Instead, it targets a person's mental stability from the inside. This is weaponized silence. It is a covert protocol designed to push a target's brain toward a state of total compliance. You do not need physical walls to isolate someone. You only need to remove their sense of being seen and heard. Identifying the specific mechanics of this isolation is the first step in building a defense against it. When silence is viewed as a calculated strategy rather than a personal failure, the victim can begin to reestablish their own emotional boundaries. The process begins with a sudden, unexplained emotional withdrawal. It can follow a minor disagreement, or sometimes nothing at all. This differs from a healthy cooling-off period where someone needs space to process. This is a wall of ice used to block the other person out. The human brain has an evolutionary requirement for social connection to maintain emotional stability. This diagram shows the neurological impact. Sudden social exclusion travels a path that converges on the same central node the brain uses to process physical trauma. A manipulator triggers this pain response on purpose. They use the deprivation of contact as a tool for targeted punishment. Because of this biological reality, the silent treatment acts as an active, targeted attack on the nervous system. As hours turn into days, a psychological vacuum begins to form. The brain enters a state of panic, generating intense stress as it searches for a reason for the sudden isolation. To resolve this stress, many victims develop a specific defense. They invent their own guilt to explain why the silence is happening. This leads to a transactional surrender. You offer apologies for things you didn't do, just to restore the connection. In this state, you trade away personal boundaries and dignity in exchange for the simple reward of hearing the other person speak again. This is the mechanical efficiency of the tactic. The manipulator has successfully offloaded the entire effort of psychological control onto you. By doing nothing, they have forced you to provide the reasons, the guilt, and the solution yourself. The vacuum of silence forces you to monitor your own behavior. You become your own active prison guard. When the silence finally ends, communication returns without apology or closure. The manipulator may act as if nothing happened, or suggest you were the one who caused the distance. This cycle of emotional starvation and sudden reward leads to a gradual erosion of self-worth. This is psychological colonization. You begin to reshape your own personality to meet demands that are never even spoken. This creates a state of hypervigilance. You spend your life walking on eggshells, constantly adjusting your behavior to avoid triggering another phase of silence. This method of control relies entirely on the victim remaining unaware of the underlying pattern. When you reframe the silence as a weak control tactic rather than a personal failure, the strategy loses its leverage. Do not allow someone's absence to dictate your presence. Reclaim your mental space. To understand these hidden games and recognize the patterns of the human mind, hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications. Stay aware.